Hello, and welcome to Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses, the podcast where you will discover all the latest and greatest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. If you are not getting the results you are looking for from your digital marketing efforts, this is the podcast for you. And now, here's the host of our show, the local business guy himself, Frank Deming.
Hello, everyone. This is Frank Deming, the local business guy, and welcome to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses. Happy Wednesday. Happy Hump Day, everyone. I hope you guys are having a rockin' week thus far. Actually, hope you guys are having a rockin' month so far, because today is the last episode of the month of January. Can you believe it? We are here already, folks. We're already here at the end of the month. Speaking of which, what have you done this month? What have you done this month to make sure that 2022 is gonna rock your socks off? What have you done? What are the stepping stones that you've done to make sure that this year is the year that you break all records in your business? I want to hear some comments. I want to make this year a little bit more interactive with this podcast. I've been getting some cool comments so far, emails and stuff like that, but I want to keep that going. I want to keep that interaction going. What have you done thus far? You know, what kind of plantations have you set down, roots, if you will, into your marketing so that it will produce fruit later on? I'd like to know that. Let's talk about that. And if there's anything that we have done on this podcast to help you do that, I'd like to do that as well. Say, hey, Frank, I episode, 110 or whatever, or well, actually, this is episode 110. What am I talking about? Episode, 100 helped me tremendously because I did XYZ, and now I'm starting it. And, I haven't seen anything yet, but I'm hoping to reap the rewards of it later. Something like that. I would love to have that interaction with you. But anyway, I want to get into today's topic. But before I do, I want to remind you guys, if you want a website audit, not only a website audit, but a full view of what your business looks like online. What is your online presence? Go to a website right now, lbmsllc.com. And on the home page, you will see something that tells you, hey, do you want to know what your online presence is? You click on that button, fill out the simple information, and within 24 hours, we will send you a report of how your business appears online. That's 100% free. Only thing you have to do is click on that button and let her rip. And if there's something that we can help you with that, I would love a conversation with you. Just reach out to us and we'll get that conversation going. All right, so let's get going with today's topic. I want to continue the trend of content marketing because content marketing is a great marketing tool. It's one of the most powerful marketing tools that you can have in today's society. And that's because it is so, because you can actually connect well with your audience. And you can use different modalities to do that. You can do it with video, as I spoke to you many times before in the past. You can do it with blog posts, as I said to you many times. You can do it with podcasts, as I said many times. You can do it a vlog, a video blog. Something like that is a very, very, very powerful way of connecting with your potential audience. But today, I'm going to give you 6 tips to optimize your blog posts because I want to talk to you about blogging. Blogging is important, folks. It's not going anywhere. Okay. Yeah. Videos are powerful and all that stuff, but don't forget about blogging. That simple thing can get you phenomenal results, and we're going to talk about 6 tips to optimize it. Okay. Because it's not such, you're wasting your time if you're just writing just to write. I want you to optimize it. Optimizing means to improve your by using these 6 tips, you're going to improve your results. And that's what I mean by optimize. So let's get going. I mean, this is not going to be a very long episode, folks, but I want you to take action with these things, because once you set this foundation and you let her rip for the whole entire year, you'll see a whole difference in your efforts and in the results of your efforts. All right. So let's go. Number 1 tip is you want to define your reader. You want to understand who comes to your site will help you. When you understand who comes to your site, it's going to help you provide the information they are seeking. Okay. So without a defined audience, it's basically impossible to create like the topics that they will, like, say, keep coming back and engage with. Okay. So the important thing to this step is you want to take the time. And again, none of this stuff is hard. It's just time consuming, but it's not hard. So you want to take the time to brainstorm who your ideal client is. I have talked about this ad nauseum. Okay. So here's what I mean. But you want to consider these things. Okay. Who your audience is, number 1. You want to think about what drives them. Okay. What interests them? What questions and problems do they have? Remember what I'm saying here. Take note to what I'm saying here. How can you help them with these issues? What information do they want? Understand what I'm saying. What information do they want? So what is the theme of what I just said there? You got to make, when you say define your reader, you got to make sure you make the blog post about them. That's what define your reader really means. It's not just, define your reader. I'm looking for, Joe Blow who owns, so-and-so thing. He's got 5 kids. No. No, do your research. Find out what problems they have. Okay? What information they want. That's so important, because if your blog post or video blog or whatever content you're looking to do, but at this point I'm talking about blogs, so let's just stick to that. If that answers those questions that I just did, that's a win-win, folks. Win-win. You can't lose if you can do this. All right, so number 2, you want to use keywords. Okay? Now, I've talked about keywords ad nauseum. You could check all the historical stuff that I talk about on this podcast. If you're a recent subscriber, you can feel free to go through my old content here. I talk about keywords a lot, because keywords is very important. Once you have an audience in your mind, right? Once you've done step 1, what I define your audience. Once you have them in your mind, you can create you have to know the possible topics to create for your blog. Okay. And then you want to use the right keywords. The keywords will actually help your content appear in the search engines. And obviously you got to do your keyword research to make sure that it's the keywords that are being searched already. But even if here's the one thing I've noticed. Even if it's a low volume, as long as there's a volume, but even if it's a low volume and your particular audience is actually looking for it, it's not going to blow up right away. But guess what? You have the answer, and that's going to produce results. So a lot of times people go for high volume keywords, and that works. But sometimes you can find some gold mines with low volume keywords. Okay, so you want to use these specific keywords in your articles, and you want them to appear naturally with your fresh content. Definitely do not plagiarize. You get penalized for that. And what's going to happen is that's going to start ranking higher in the search engine results pages, period. But the trick is to remember to use keywords naturally, is like I said before, because that's what's going to help you reap the benefits. That's the key. That, if there's a mistake out there that I see a lot of bloggers is they don't use these keywords that they find naturally within the content. And that's the trick. And so, it takes practice. I'm not going to lie. It's not, it's easier said than done. I get it. And it does take practice. So then practice it, right? Practice. Let's see what we can do. Okay. So number 3 is you want internal links. You want to use internal links. Okay. Once you get the hang of blogging, like I said, you got to have it naturally and all that kind of stuff. You want to use internal links. You want to work the whole internal link process, okay, into your blog post. So the internal links will help, introduce your other posts to readers. So let's say somewhere in your, let's say, you have one topic and there was a keyword that's powerful. You can link that keyword to another post in your blog, maybe an older post that specifically talks about that strategy. Okay, so this is going to help optimize it. So the thing is that when you place these internal links, it can actually help your SEO. Because the search engines like to see links in your content, so it's going to actually help it. But again, it has to be a natural flow. You can't have links all over the place. Okay, and it's also going to keep people moving through your blogs, so they see, wow, this person has some really cool content. So it's not just that they're sticking on that particular page, but they can actually go to another thing that they probably didn't find before. And then bam, now you're gaining real audiences, or, your ideal audience is actually sticking to you. So that's very, very important. You want to add, number 4, you want to add multiple media items. Here's what I mean. When you have like multiple forms of media, for on your blog, it's going to help your readers interact and actually going to spend more time on all of your material. So you want to add stuff like videos, right? And the videos or wherever it makes sense, you also want to add pictures or even graphs or something like that. That's going to further help pinpoint your topic or your point, so graphs help a lot with that. Pictures also help. Videos definitely help. So if you have like a short video that's explaining certain items, that's another thing. So you just want to pay attention to a lot of these things, because it just helps in having what I call the stick factor onto your content. Research shows that the longer someone stays on your page, the more engaged they are. Also, the more likely they are to do business with you down in the future. So this is a practice that you want to continue doing. So add multiple media items. So another thing that you could do, I forgot to mention before I move on to the next one, is you can have like maybe slideshows. Before I move on, forgot about that. You want to have slideshows, or maybe you want to interlink to a vlog that you may have, a video blog that you may have that goes to your YouTube station or something like that. Or you can link people to your podcast, or maybe you could actually create infographics for your blogs. That's another multiple media item that you can have. So these are just some ideas that I'm throwing out there. And again, this is a tactic that a lot of people don't talk about. This is something that we do all the time. I normally don't talk about it either, but I'm sharing it with you now. So, hang on. hang on in there. You'll get used to it. You'll start rocking and rolling with it. And you could always reach out to us, 888-416-7752. I give that number out all the time, 888-476-7752. Whoever answers the phone, just say, hey, I want to speak to Frank about, podcast number XYZ. He had this tip. I want some help or whatever. Or maybe one of our marketing specialists will do it for us, whatever. Either way, you can reach out to us if you're having any kind of problems with any of these strategies that we're talking about. All right, so number 5, you can't forget all of this. This is very important. Titles and meta descriptions are very, very important, okay? So I know it's limited to 155. I'm sorry, the meta descriptions, are limited to 155 characters. I know that. And it's kind of hard. But it's going to provide a short explanation of what the readers can expect on your blog. So the descriptions are typically displayed, on the search engine page results. So you want to make sure that the keyword is there. So that way they see, oh, this is the keyword I was looking for. Actually, that's going to help you with SEO, but they actually see it. So they see that it's a relevant post that is, so it's very important. Those are very important. So make sure that the keyword that you're looking for is in the title and is also in the meta description, and understand that it's just limited to 155 characters. So you got to be a little savvy of when you write this meta description. Okay. So that's very, very important for optimizing your blog content. So number 6, last and definitely not least, make easy to read content. Here's what I mean by that. I see a lot of times people just like clump up content. And I've talked about this a lot, and it still happens, which is weird. But clump data is not good. When you clump it up, it's really not a good strategy. You want to separate your content as much as possible. You want to make short paragraphs. Even I sometimes I do some pretty large paragraphs and stuff like that. I often do that. I'm not often. I sometimes slip up and I do it. But you want to break up your paragraphs as much as possible, making it easy for someone to read and consume. Because remember, a lot of times these people are on their phones and they're reading. So like, they're on their lunch break or whatever. They do a search on their phone on their lunch break and they come across your blog. You want to make it easy for them to consume. And the more white space you have in content, the more they'll stick and read and read and read. And which is the trick. But here's the bottom line of all of these things. I'm gonna go through the 6 one more time before I end this podcast. But here's the bottom line of all of these. Okay. Applying everything, you're going to notice how your blog is going to rank higher and higher and higher in the search engine page results. Okay. And it actually does a better job at bringing in visitors to your website. Now you have to do it correctly. Okay. And then all of these steps are also going to help you rise your brand recognition. And that's a very important thing for small businesses, okay? Because this is a very inexpensive way of doing brand recognition. Brand recognition, we can do a whole podcast on that itself. But brand recognition is a key element. Because all the big boys are doing it, but they have the funds to do it without a problem, right? But when you have brand recognition for a smaller business, you want to utilize things like social media. You want to utilize things like blogging, vlogging, et cetera. That's going to bring in what I call micro brand recognition. So for your community, because we're talking about local businesses here. Okay, so you only have to be the king of the hill for your local area. So maybe, 20-mile radius max, maybe even less, If you're king of the hill on that, you're going to kill it. You're going to crush it, et cetera, et cetera. So before I let you go, let me read all 6 of these one more time so we don't lose trend of it. Number 1, you want to define your reader. Okay. That is the key thing. That's the foundation. Without that, who are you writing for, right? Jesus. Number 2, ad nauseum, I say this all the time, keywords. Use keywords all the time, but you got to research the keywords first and make sure that your audience that you defined are looking for those keywords. Okay. Number 3, you want to use internal links. Internal links are key when you're writing blogs. 4, you want to add multiple media items, videos, podcasts, infographics, et cetera, et cetera. I mentioned it when we talked about it. Number 5, use the titles and the meta descriptions. Those are very important. Okay. Make sure that the keyword is in the title and is a meta description. Number 6, you want to make it easy to read your content. So there you have it, folks. Start doing this now. Make 2022 your year to rock and roll. So with that, I'm going to end this episode. Until next week, this has been Frank Deming, the local business guy. Take care, folks, and bye for now. Peace out.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Marketing Solutions for Local Businesses, the podcast where you will discover all the latest and greatest digital marketing tools, tips, and strategies you will need to implement in order to stay ahead of your competition. Don't forget, any links that were mentioned during the broadcast will be available to you in the show notes, so be sure to grab them while you have the chance. Incidentally, if you have any topics that you would like for us to discuss on the show, be sure to send an email to the email provided in the show notes, or click the Contact Us link and let us know what topic you would like us to help you with, and we'll be sure to add it to our schedule. If you would like for Frank and his team to look at your digital marketing presence and give you a free evaluation, simply click the Request a Free Consultation link in the show notes to get a hold of them. That being said, until our next episode, make it a successful digital marketing day. Peace out.